It's a wonderful little store in a funky little part of Phoenixville, my little plug for Steve.
Thank you.
When I explained that I was a part of this group and was hoping he'd speak, Steve was just incredibly generous with his time and showed me all around the store, taught me a whole bunch. So I know you guys will have fun hearing about his store. This is, as I can see it, a true labor of love with Steve and his wife, Deb. I believe you're retired other than this very hard work. Maybe
Yes.
you can correct me if I'm wrong. But it's a wonderful little store and an opportunity to remind us that we can celebrate the holidays and any time with friends and loved ones without destroying the planet. That there are other ways that we can do things, and there are wonderful products we can even buy that will make our lives wonderful without, as I said, causing more damage to our world. So without further ado, Steve, tell us a little about yourself, about the wonderful community eco store that I understand you started with another name more than a decade ago.
Yeah, actually, sort of my bio, I'll go quickly through my bio. I was born and raised in Santa Barbara, 50s, 60s, 70s, early 80s, moved out here in 83. I was raised Unitarian. I went to Quaker meetings, went to Vedanta Temple. My mother was a bit of a searcher, so we got around quite a bit. And I ended up out here having a regular career, so to speak, and I was able to hook up with a software company, started my own business, and I worked with them for a period of about 10 years, which allowed me to do what I'm doing now financially, basically. And but I've always had an interest in this, and I never thought I would have a store that could do this type of thing. We did start out as a solar energy, solar hot water, solar electric, off-grid type of arrangement back in 2010. That led to this store by virtue of the incentives for Pennsylvania going away, which means the solar industry sort of crashed. So I morphed the store into what it is now, and I brought in products. So everything that we're doing now is highly intentional, from every product that we buy, from whom we buy it, and what the product is, what it represents, and so on. So here we are now in a 650 square foot store, which is packed. And I just got another delivery in that I have to pick up, so it'll be more packed. But so that's where we are now. The presentation is actually a tour of the store, which will just lead to discussions. I'll try to keep it fairly quick. It'll be, you'll see. And there's one thing at the end, though. I did try this on my own. If you are on a computer with this Zoom meeting and you have a cell phone, you can probably get a link to the QR, the quick reference codes that I'm going to put up near the end of the presentation, that will give you links to various entities that have to do with our business and other topics. I tried it, it works. It can be a little awkward, but if you have the wherewithal with your phone, you can, if it's an iPhone of some fairly new version or something else that has the ability to recognize a QR code, you can just put it up, it'll go right to the site, and you can kind of put that to the side. If you're on your cell phone, it's too bad. You can't do it. So what do you think I should do? Can I share my screen?
So I think you should share your screen. Just go down and click on that green up arrow at the bottom. Do you have a green up arrow at the bottom?
Yeah, I clicked on it, now it says share.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now you're sharing, and now you want to open whatever, wherever.
Oh, it's on my desktop. Let me see.
So you should be able to find that.
This screen that I see here,
I think you
Let
can,
me-
yeah, you can cancel out of that. And is it it's a PowerPoint, right? Do you have the program along the bottom of your screen?
We lose him?
Steve, I'll tell you, what-
Need to hit the arrow to start your virtual background. Right?
I was going to say you can stop sharing your screen, open up the PowerPoint on your computer, and then share it again, and it will be there. You'll see it. Wait a minute, did we lose him?
Seems like.
Oh dear.
He was
Well,
replaced by, he was
welcome.
replaced by Rodney Platt.
Uh-oh. No, he was gonna, yeah, no,
He said he was having some internet
Hmm.
connection troubles, so we'll see if he comes back in.
well, we can all pray for him right now.
Courtney, would you be able to put up his
Oh,
PowerPoint?
let me see if I can do that. Yes.
And
Let's
then
see.
maybe, you know, when he says turn the page, you can hit the page, because it may be if he's got a freaky
Yeah.
connection.
He's coming in. Hey, Steve. Steve, are you there?
He is.
So
Need to
how
unmute,
about,
Steve.
how about if I find your PowerPoint and
Steve, you need to unmute. Down bottom.
thank you. Oh, you start out muted. That's a good idea. Let me see here. I can, if I click on share screen. Oh, no, sorry, I'm disabled right now. So
oh,
Courtney,
oh, sorry. Okay, because you came back in. Okay, hold on.
You're muted again, Steve.
Okay, I've made him a co-host.
yeah, I was unable to get my home screen to come up.
Okay.
I click on share screen.
Uh-huh.
That comes up and I see my inbox and my other stuff. You know what? I'll just pull up my, I'll pull up the screen.
Okay, here, I've got it. Why don't, can I
Oh, I
share?
have it. Hold that thought.
Okay,
That's a big file.
Yes. Can you see that?
if we can see your desktop.
So I can see the file. Here's screen sharing. It says you're screen sharing right now on my computer.
All we're seeing
I mean,
is mailbox. And you click
That's
present.
not a mailbox. That's his file. It's a file.
I
It's a
just
folder.
opened the file.
A folder.
Yeah, you've got presentation. Can you double click on that, Steve?
I did, and it's open, and I'm actually looking at it.
Oh,
And I'm looking at the slideshow.
Okay, can I suggest this? Can I suggest that you back out of screen sharing? If your presentation is open on top of your desktop, screen share again, and we should be able to see that presentation, I think.
Stop share. Okay, here it is. And now that I opened up that file, let's try that one.
Hey.
Oh,
Yay.
yeah? Oh, really? Oh, and I learned something. So
Woo-hoo.
that's good.
Good job. Can you go down to the very bottom where that little icon is with the, that'll make it a full screen. We'll get to see the whole thing. Can you,
Should,
there you go.
that it?
Excellent.
yeah. Okay, this actually, I just took a picture of a poster that we have in the store. So it speaks for itself pretty much there. Now what I did, well, let's just go on the tour and I'll stop at each section that comes up and describe what we're doing. Front of the store. Oh, and I learned something. Oops, sorry. There's a way to zoom in on things here, so this may work. There you go. So can you see that little hand floating around there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is our sign. So it's mask optional inside. We leave the doors open as long as we possibly can, and there's a lot of fresh air in there for people who feel uncomfortable with a mask. And pets are welcome. The store itself is it's in a building. It was built in 1841. That actually predates the what do you call it when a town becomes official? Anyway, predates Phoenixville in that respect. So that, bear with me while I have to do this. There we go. Inside the store, when you first come in, this is it. The floors were this way. We had them refinished when we first moved in. Did a few little painting. I was able to get some lights that were full spectrum lights that are incandescent, and some of those are LEDs, which I'm not a real fan of, but the shop's very bright, very easy to negotiate. Here's the front of the store looking out, what looks like little prayer flags are actually pictures drawn by people at a Green Earth Festival, actually children, that drew those and made little stamps out of them. Interestingly enough, they used styrofoam plates that were, well, otherwise would end up landfill. They eventually did, but they used them to make little block prints. And I put those up there. In front of the store, you can see a composting toilet, water filter, a few other things, but I'll just go through the shop. These are pictures of the shop itself. So I'll go to different sections eventually. Looking out from the store, I'm in the process of trying to find, and if anyone knows of, an old-fashioned cash register with an arm that you pull down that opens the drawer. I have no use for this electronic thing that I bought. I'm looking for one of those just to take the place of that, because it's literally a drawer where I have change. Other than that, we have a Wi-Fi connection for all of our credit cards and that stuff. But I thought I'd pull this up. And this is, I apologize for the blurry picture. This is what if you have a choice to look for this type of label or somewhere on the back of, or as part of the product you're about to buy. I'll get into the B certification a little bit later. 1% for the planet. We were thinking about doing that. We can't because we don't make enough money to make it worthwhile. But that's basically how we function as a store. And then climate neutral certification as well. This happens to be a clean canteen product that make metal containers and so on. So here we go. So when you're out shopping, everybody knows what these are. If it's at all possible, try to get something made by a certified B corporation, or at least somewhere you're familiar with. and use it and use it and use it until it literally falls apart.
Falls apart.
And if it's cotton, better yet, if it's organic cotton, just use it as a rag. When that falls apart, dig a hole in the yard and put it in the hole. And you'll have done the best you can do. These bags are great. This one on the right is huge. You can put a dog, a small child in it. It's huge. And these are all traditional mesh bags, but I'll go to the next section. Oh, these are more bags. One of the things I found kind of disconcerting is when you get vegetables and you put them on that filthy, dirty, horrible conveyor belt at any store, you know, Kimberton Whole Foods, Amazon Whole Foods, whatever, because I'm trying to avoid using the plastic bags that are on the dispenser. These bags can be used to put all your vegetables in. Strangely enough, they're extremely light, but they actually have a tear weight on them as well. So if something's being weighed, nuts, beans, coffee, whatever you're putting in one of those bags, you can say, well, the tear weight is, you know, 2 grams, or it's really small. But I always encourage people to have a lot of these around and use them and take them whenever you go. Put them in your shopping bag and take them with you as you get bulk items or vegetables, that type of thing. Oh, I did see something funny. There was a skit, and somebody gives somebody this look, this kind of a, for lack of a better word, a stink eye look, you know, a little kind of disapproval. And this person said, "Oh my God, I haven't had that look since I forgot my bags at Whole Foods." So you know what I'm talking about. But this is something we can all do, and these will last a long, long time. Oh, now we're going to get into the cleaning. This company, I came across this company a while ago when I was searching for bulk laundry detergent. I was looking for liquid detergent to replace one that we used to have called Sun and Earth. The company was bought twice. They moved to Ohio and stopped making the bulk product. And I was not able to find anything that didn't cost really less than $30 or close to $30 a gallon, which I found horrible. I'm trying to keep prices as low as possible and as friendly as possible. This company, Meliora, is out of Chicago. Their ingredients are fantastic. The company's fantastic. They sent me a large 5-gallon bucket for bulk soap. Let me go back a little bit. Oh, does anybody remember how to go back? Anyway, there's a way to go back.
The,
There we go. I can go back.
yeah.
It's just the back button. Sorry about that. Anyway, they sent a bulk laundry detergent, powdered laundry detergent in the unscented form in a 5-gallon bucket. When I'm done with that bucket, they have a pre-labeled return shipment, and I just put it on, ship it back. It's very light, and they reuse it and reuse it and reuse it, and then they send me another one. Great company. So to the discussion early on, there's the True Earth stuff right there. The thing I like about it mainly is it's pretty much dehydrated laundry detergent in a paper sleeve. There's 32 washes. The price that we're selling it for is $16.95. It's expensive, but there's almost zero waste in it, and the packaging is absolutely minimal. They do make however, 64 pack that's less than twice the price of the 32. And it really does work quite well. It dissolves. It's made in Canada. I found another company that has a similar product made in China for some reason. I don't know why, but this is a good company. And right above that is a Cora ball, that little blue thing with the little nubs on it. That's for collecting microplastics in your wash. It's actually something you throw it into the wash, and it will collect around 30% of the microplastics that come off of your polyester or synthetic clothing. And it gets trapped inside that ball. It's made from recycled plastic. The company that's made in Vermont, they have different versions of this, but this particular one is what I have. they do a really good job. It only does 30%, whereas the bag that's hanging on the left is from Guppy Friend. I believe it started in the UK somewhere. That is a bag that you would put your plastic or synthetic items into, and that traps around 70% of your microplastics that are in your wash.
Steve,
And yes.
for that ball, what do you do with it afterwards?
Oh, so that you can kind of disassemble it, but you would just pull that out and put it in the trash so it doesn't go into the water.
Oh, so you just keep on using it.
You keep on using it. Yeah, it has these little nubs on the inside that it'll catch just about anything that's pretty small in your wash as well. And thirdly, there are a couple filters you can get that filter the water after your wash is done, between that and going into the sewer. Those are fairly expensive. Some are really expensive, but I like those. They can catch up to 100% of the microplastics, among other things, in your wash. And I believe that it has to be emptied quite frequently. You have to turn off your water, disconnect the thing, pull the filter out, clean the filter, put it back in, so on. But clean it, not in the sink, of course. But there's several things you can do. I like the bag. I own very few truly synthetic stuff. I think I have a vest or something, and that would go into my wash, and that would prevent that from going downstream, so to speak. So this is the bulk soap. So I was talking about Meliora. You can bring your own container in. That stainless steel thing on the right contains bulk powdered soap, and on the left it's organic Castile soap. And that you can use for any number, a huge number of things. You can mix things with it. We actually started using it as for our dish soap in the sink. We have a little pump thing. And I added a little of baking soda with it, and it thickened it a little bit, and it seems to work great for that. And there's a little scale there, and you put your item on there, and you get your tare weight, and then you fill it, and you pay for it per ounce. And it ends up being a lot cheaper than buying it in the container. And there's no container. You get to reuse your own. And brooms. So the brooms on the left are made in an Amish factory I go to in Kinzers, PA, in Lancaster County. It's quite a factory. It's actually, for real, it's a large factory. I think there are only about maybe a dozen people total, about half a dozen people that I see working there. The brooms on the right are handmade by a non-Amish person in his house near Lancaster County. Actually, I think they're still in Chester County there. I did a class at Berkey Elementary School, and the kids were saying, what's eco-friendly about a broom? Why did you bring a broom? I said, well, it's sustainable in that the product that it's made out of, it's sorghum. It can grow. It grows like corn. They call it broom corn, but and you're not using an electric thing, or you're not using Swifter stuff that you throw away, and you can use it for brooms will last probably 5 to 10 years, depending on your use. And then it's just straw, that straw and wood, and that's it. So they're really great. Those are really made very well. The ones on the right, the colored ones, are more heirloom brooms, and they're literally about twice the price of the other ones. But there's the one, the one that looks like an old barn. I think the old traditional broom, the wrap, the circular one. That one has a technique. I can't remember the name. It's a French name for the technique. The fellow he soaks the broom handle, and he puts baking soda and water on the handle and puts an electrode on each end, and it causes that fracturing to occur. It's an amazing process. And here we have, okay, this is more, these are stashers. This is a silicone based container that can be used a long time. You can boil it. You can put it in the oven, which sounds strange, but the product is quite substantial. It's a woman-owned company. It's a B certified company as well. On the far left, there are a couple of washing discs that are handmade in Phoenixville. They're cotton. Below that, there's a magic soap, which I tend to be very skeptical about things like this. I read about this. I bought it. It's a stainless steel disc. If you use garlic and onion and you prepare it with your hands and you're cutting things up, you take that disc and put your hands in warm water and use it, rub it on your hands as if you're washing your hands, and it removes the smell of onion and garlic.
Wow.
And it works. It's ridiculous. It's science. So some scientists may know what that is that occurs there. Underneath that's a bubby clip, which is like a grandmother clip, I guess. But that's a clip made out of wood. It's made in Vermont. It's a clip that allows you to clip your potato chips and other bags and coffee and so on. You just weave the top of the bag through that, and it's a clip, and it works perfectly, as opposed to plastic or metal or something. And the soaps, I came across this company called Dragonfly Effect Naturals. I think that's the whole name of the company. Fantastic product. These people are very, very thoughtful in how they make their product and what they do with the money they make from their product. It's worth checking out. You can check it out in the store or look up Dragonfly Effect Naturals. Below that, some soap from a company called Nether Province out of Media. The woman is a chemist who became a soap and candle maker. She's making all these soaps. We bring them in about 3 or 4 times a year. It's worth checking out. The minimal packaging, she uses paper. They call it like a cigar band, just around each thing. It's a great product. She makes also soap leaves, which are in a metal tin, and it's just a fine, like a slice of soap, I guess. And you simply take that slice, get your hands wet, put it in your hands, wash your hands. So it works great for travel and the like. So we go on to, so here, we're always trying to encourage people to do things on their own, make their own stuff, preserve food and so on and so forth. So what I believe we have the widest selection of mason jar tops in one place anywhere. I think there are like 13 different ones. It's a little pour cap, fermenter cap, where you can make, if you make sauerkraut, something like that, put the sauerkraut in, your salt, mash it down, put a lid on it, put that cap on it. It's a one-way valve that only goes out, doesn't allow anything in. And then other stainless steel, aluminum corks, which I finally came across those. Those are great. Just a lot of things you can do with mason jars that you may not think of. There's one down below that has a little slot in it for change, like for a kid's piggy bank or that type of thing. And here we are on the left, you can see that's a bees wrap. I don't know how large that is on your screen, but that's a bees wrap, which is made in Vermont. It's made out of organic cotton, beeswax, jojoba oil, and a non-nut tree resin. I called the woman about it. I had somebody come in who said their child is very allergic to nuts and anything related to that. I called the company, the woman did the research on it. She says it is a non-nut tree resin. So that makes that more usable to more people. And they just started making a vegan or a non-bee wrap. And I think it's similar to a candle that you might get that's made out of soy versus beeswax. And on the right, there are Swedish dishcloths. Those are cellulose and cotton woven into a cloth. It's somewhere between a paper towel and a sponge. You can use it and use it and use it and use it, and it'll get kind of funky at some point, just like any sponge. You can clean it, you can boil it, you can wash it, but at some point it won't become usable, but there will be months before that happens. And you will save a lot of paper towel.
Oh,
And at
that's a
that
good
point, being what it's made out of, it's biodegradable. You could just cut it up and bury it. And I'll go through this. Oh, straws, and everyone knows these are glass straws, a
Yeah.
woman-owned company out of Los Angeles. These are clean Canteen, stainless steel with a silicone tip.
Come here.
And okay, this is we're trying to get people away from single-use plastics, of course. These are Berkey water filters. They've become very popular. It's a stainless steel container with a carbon filter, some proprietary combination of carbon and other stuff that captures just about everything that's toxic in the water. The thing that's interesting about these is, though they're initially expensive, they will do around 5,000 or more gallons before you have to replace the filter, as opposed to the small filter on the left, which is by a great company called Soma. It's in a glass container, but that'll only do, I think, 40 or 50 gallons per filter. And the filters do have there's plastic in them, but I think the 5,000 gallons is around, it's a little over 3 gallons a day, every day for 4 years. So that's how much water, and it ends up being quite inexpensive in the long run. So here we go. This, okay, now this is the rest of Clean Canteen. So what we're looking at, with the exception of some of those filters on the lower right, these are all certified B Corporation products. Clean Canteen containers, you know what they are, water, so on and so forth. The utensil set, which is, they're made out of bamboo. Below that are some life straws. If you're not familiar with those, it's a straw filter that you can use to drink out of moderately contaminated water, primarily in relation to organic contaminants. Anything that would prevent you, it'll filter out anything that'll prevent you from getting a diarrhea or cholera. You know. So you can literally drink out of a pond if need be, or the Schuylkill River for that matter, or a questionable restaurant in Phoenixville for that matter. And anytime you can smell your water, especially if you're in a restaurant, you can tell it's just tap water with potentially horrible ice in it. And if you can smell it, that means it's off-gassing chlorine, and you should probably pass on drinking that. Oh, these bags are from Chico Bag, which is another certified B Corporation. They make these X plastic bags out of recycled plastic water bottles. They're for the purpose of carrying a Clean Canteen water bottle. So you can take one of those water bottles up in the upper left, drop it into this pouch, sling it over your shoulder, go on your walk and your hike, and you don't have to carry. You have hands-free carrying. This is a couple of do-it-yourself things. It's a great company. It's American made. They make possible for you to make kefir, though they will mail you I guess it's the mother to start your kefir. They had a kombucha kit as well, and they mail you the SCOBY to start that. The sprouts, all you do is put water in that and start your sprouts. And they do lotions and candles. Down below are some products that are primarily for composting toilets, which we have in the store. They're a dry composting. It's aerobic composting. Over here, we have toys, wood toys. We have some solar powered lights from Lucy, which I believe is also a certified B Corporation. Some more toys, some non-battery powered, non-plastic, except for part of that one container, toys and puzzles and things like that. The stuff at the bottom is all Amish made. And some posters. The poster down in the lower right, this yard is chemical free, safe for children and pets, is part of the Phoenixville Green Team promotion for just that, keeping pesticides out of your yard. Even though my neighbor uses True Green, which used to be Kimlawn, and I have this, well, I had the sign in my yard, and when Kimlawn is done, or True Green is done doing their stuff next door, they put their sign up. I have a picture of that somewhere. It's kind of interesting. But we sell these posters. They're from a company called Syracuse Cultural Workers something. They have a lot of fantastic posters if you're in the market. We do sell them, a few at the store as well. Okay, now this is the list that I got from the woman who is doing the TerraCycle program through our store. We're a drop-off or collection point. The woman picks up the bags that I collect about once a month or so, sorts them, repackages them as tight as possible in as large a box as possible, and sends them to the regional TerraCycle recycling plant, or whatever it's called there. This list is available on a link. I don't like putting up, well, I'll get to it later, which might be sooner than later. Okay, there's TerraCycle. Okay, here you go. So this is a QR code. I didn't even dare put the path to this QR code on the screen because it's so cryptic and so long that it's not even worth writing down. You can't remember it. This will be available somehow. I think somebody has this. The PowerPoint, this will come up. I can come back to it later, but the woman that's doing it is naturenutproject.com, like naturenutproject.com. Her name is Ashley. She's the one who's doing this. The link to the promotion that has the information about this is in her website, and it's very hard to find it. But if you go to Nature Nut Project and drill down, you can find this list and a few other things. It's stuff like toothpaste tubes with the caps on. Take out the toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant stick holders without the deodorant, floss containers, mouthwash bottles, and so on and so forth, and goes down into Bic pens, highlighters, mechanical pencils, that type of plastic. Apparently they break that down and separate any of the metals and the inks and stuff. Brita filters, there is a new program through Brita. She said they are changing that, though we still accept the little plastic filters that come with that. And the plastic wraps, it's the snack bags, the stuff that's Mylar, this metallized polyester type of stuff with the shiny metal on the inside, shiny plastic on the inside, granola wrappers, that type of stuff. Occasionally you'll actually come across a bag, I think late July has a TerraCycle symbol on the bag, and anytime you see that stuff we collect in the store. You can bring in as much as you want or have or collect, and we will take it. And the certified B Corp, that's their symbol. Just look for that whenever you can on the back of a package, whether it's food, an item, anything. They should display that. We are in the process of becoming a certified B Corporation, though the matrix for that's been changing enough. I started it 5 years ago, stopped a couple of years ago. I'm restarting it again, but if we can, we will be a certified B Corporation. Here's another, something came up on our screen. I can't tell which this is for, but this may be the B Corp QR quick reference code. Yeah. If you look up B Corp, you'll find the information about it and you can drill down, and it's quite amazing. And then there's Corkery Harvest. We're doing recycling of natural cork. I am taking plastic corks in the hopes that I can find somebody that has a good recycling program for them. But whenever possible, I try to encourage people to buy wine and with a natural cork in it, not the plastic laden aluminum screw off top, which apparently can't be separated and recycled properly. And there is this cork recycling here. I apologize for the big QR code, but if you can take your phone to this, it will take you right to the site. This company is Corkery Harvest. If you look that up, you should find out about this whole program. There's a really good TED Talk. The guy I spoke with that's in charge of it I believe he's out of Washington State. He did a really good TED Talk on cork reharvesting, about cork forests and how that works and so on. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this has nothing to do with the talk, but it's something to look at while there's a Q&A. So I brought this amazing picture of someplace I almost lived in, and there were a couple other things, maybe not. Oh, we're back. So that said, I'll just leave this up. I'm actually, maybe this is kind of hard to look at. There's a lot of fractal stuff going on here. A little Fibonacci fun. But here we go. So anyway, yeah, if there's any questions about anything, a couple things that we would like to be doing, like that glass recycling. As Rodney knows, that we went to the recycling plant and the guy said glass is just really not working for them necessarily. They don't really make money on it. It ends up sort of tearing up their machinery and so on and so forth, but they do take it and they do recycle it, except it's the lowest form of recycling glass possible, which is commingled and crushed and used in industrial things. I heard
It
even
becomes glass. I mean, sand.
it's like sand, and they use it in like pavement, asphalt, and some other things. Yeah, so it's not like what I'm hoping to do is to collect whole bottles and have that taken into Philadelphia, where people actually make things from that can be reused, like glasses, you know. So that, in a nutshell, that's it. We really do try to encourage people. If you were to come to the store, we're trying to get people to make their own stuff. We have like food mills and other little things to keep people in the state of mind where, as opposed to buying something, making something. So you buy a bunch of tomatoes and you make tomato sauce and you can it and et cetera. So that's part of the program that we're hoping to get across to people when they come in. But otherwise, any questions or anything?
Steve, thank you so much. We have about 10 minutes. You
Good.
gave us a lot of information, a lot of things to think about. Does anybody have a question for Steve?
Yes, I do. Little question here from Peg. Someone was talking about how you can buy like wooden brushes with natural brushes for a dishwashing brush. And then when
Yes.
you unhook it, and then you can kind of recycle the wood in the brush, and then you scrape it along a block of soap, I guess, so that you're not using containers and all. I have a little, fuss budget a little bit. How are those bristles? I know a person wants to get things clean, but also they seem a little rougher than some of those plasticky ones that are like netting, sort of like, rather than the, I can't explain, but they seem gentler than the harshness of a very strong bristle. Any thoughts or recommendations about dish brushes?
Actually, yes, there are several companies that make those. Some of the ones that we have in the store, I'm looking to get some from a company called, what's the company called? I'm looking at it on the back of our brush here, which is about 3 years old.
Yeah.
This is very soft. This is Tampico. If you put hot water on this, I do glasses, and this is Redecker is the company. The
Redecker.
top, yeah, Redecker is German. It's a German company. The top comes off,
Yeah.
and you have this thing.
Then you can
That there, and you can get a top, put it back on. It's wood and Tampico fibers, which come from Mexico. This company is the original company to make this and have it brought into the United States. It's called Redecker.
Can you just spell out the, or maybe just write RETI?
I can't even read it on here, but if you look up fiber brush made in Germany, it's Redecker. The whole name is quite like German. I'm trying to get these. Actually, I'm trying to get them in the store, and they're very good. They last a long, long time, and you can get the tip, the brush part replaced as well.
But my concern and your thought is that it's gentle.
I use it on crystal.
Whoa. Okay.
So, and then
And
there's this.
it's a fiber. It's not.
And so it's
a plant
Redecker. It's called Redecker, Redeckerer is the
Thank
name
you.
of the brush.
Yes, Redecker.
Steve, could you eliminate your shared screen so we can see more of you?
Oh, stop sharing. There we go.
There we go. Great, thank you.
Hello. So this, which I'm waving in front of the screen, this is another Redecker, or however you would say it in German. This is for cleaning bottles. It's a bottle cleaner. We have it at the store. This particular one is made in Germany. This is made out of horsehair. So you may or may not have a problem with that. Horsehair is amazing. It works really well. That happens to be what they use, what Redecker uses, Redecker. And we do have brushes like this one. Can you see that?
Yeah, that looks harsh.
This is harsh.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is good for pans. This is a scrub brush. It is very harsh. We sell that, and I tell people this for scrubbing pans out. It's period. Yeah. And you can get a little block soap, which we sell, rub it in the block soap, scrub your pans out. The other thing you can use on glass, coffee cups, glass, crystal, and so on. But the other scrub brush is it's harsh. It's about twice as stiff as the Redecker one, even though they do make that as well.
It's
another
good
type
for
of
exfoliating your skin.
exfoliating plates and pans. Yeah. So yes, those work. And then we have a soap. They're sort of like a little puck. And it's about 3 inches in diameter, about 1.5 inches thick, and that you put in a little dish, or like a ramekin dish or something like that, the creme brulee type of thing, and just rub that on top of it and use it to clean your dishes with. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to suggest that it may need more drainage so one doesn't get a stew of a Petri dish stew at the bottom, the soap thing.
Oh, the soap thing, actually what I do is I put my finger in it, and I just when I'm done doing it, I put the water and I pour it into or onto the thing that I'm cleaning, and I put it back. It just makes the soap soft. If you leave for a couple months, something will probably grow on it.
Okay.
But, if you do your dishes on a regular basis, it's not a problem. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it does get a little soupy if you don't.
So just pour it out / rinse it out.
Yeah, pour it out. I put it on top of the dish and I just wash it that way. Exactly. And I keep the brush separate from the dish. have another
yeah.
row of
Sure.
dishes that goes into, and it's all, and the other ones are hung up on the side. So, but that's a very good way to take care of that. And there's no packaging. The packaging for both of those, one is a cardboard box, the other one's wrapped in paper.
Yeah.
And it lasts for weeks.
But if you say Redecker, the way the young lady said before, I can remember it better, and I think one
That's
can figure it out a little better.
That's phonetically correct. Yeah, Redecker would be it. And if you look it up, I've been corresponding with them in the last couple of years or so. They had trouble getting that Tampico fiber from Mexico, and they had stopped making that for a while. And I hope to have that again, probably late spring, early summer next year. I have to import it from Germany, which is not my favorite thing to do, but I can get quite a bit of it, and they make an extremely high quality product.
Right, thank you.
Yes. So.
We have just a couple more minutes. Does anybody have another question for Steve? Oh, I actually had a question. What happened to the solar market that caused you to move out of solar and into this?
Well, yeah, speaking of they Build Back Better, that it was Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania had offered large rebates and incentives up until about 2009, 2010, and it went away completely. They had rebates and incentives, solar renewable energy credits, or SRECs, were quite high. So your return on investment for those who are thinking in the money into the spectrum of solar was around 6 to 8 years at the most, with all the rebates. The rebates went away. It became 12 to 14 years if in terms of what you would save and so on. And now it's around 10 years-ish, depending on what you get. We're a fossil-free home here. There's no gas, no oil, and we have solar panels. I have 3 vehicles. I have a huge diesel Sprinter van. I have an old Prius and a Nissan Leaf, and all of which are functioning. The Leaf is new, but it's one of those cradle to grave things. Somebody had mentioned earlier on about the planned obsolescence. So the Sprinter van should last for 500,000 or 600,000 miles. It gets around 30 miles to the gallon on the highway. It's diesel, but the fact that I could keep it for 20 or 25 years and put several 100,000 miles on it, there's a little bit of that sort of give and take when you think about it. I don't use it on a regular basis, so I'll have it forever until it rots, and I'll recycle it.
That's a good philosophy. I want to thank everybody for coming. Steve, thank you so much. We all look forward to visiting you in Phoenixville.
Yeah, come on out. Oh, I forgot to mention, we are a totally not-for-profit volunteer company. So any money that you spend that ends up being a profit, or if there is such a thing, goes back to the community.
What's the name of the store?
Community Eco Store.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Have a good night. Steve, thank you again. Have a happy Thanksgiving.